because of a very nasty word that came out very early in this. The word is commingling. You know, when I was a stockbroker, you have to study the Securities Act of 33 and 34 to get your Series 7 brokerage license. You have to know that very, very well. And one of the words that you take away is this word commingling. It's the idea that your customer account, you're trading it as if it's your money. And this is the cardinal sin. It's something that not even, the most brazen, larcenistically minded stockbroker would do, and yet now it's commonplace on Wall Street now. This whole idea there's a division between the customer money and the corporation's money or the stockbroker's money is now gone.
That's like playing the stock market with the pensioners' money. People used to go to jail or get executed for that.
I never thought I'd see that, that it would get so bad that the customer's money is now really, and the sad part is that when you open an account with these folks, you sign off on binding arbitration before a panel of the peers of the broker. You take away any right to go to a jury of your peers. Everyone who signs a new account form eliminates that right. So, and there's less than 2% of the people who file complaints get any money back at all. It's a 90% rate for when I was working on Wall Street, they said to me when I walked in the door, we don't care what you do, just get us more commissions. We got lawyers. Unless you had at least one lawsuit pending, they said you don't have enough initiative. That's the attitude of the criminal class on Wall Street. And it's gotten 1,000 times worse with the much bigger numbers.
And by the way, you're not joking. It is like 1,000 times worse. And, folks, they've got this same bulletproof attitude when it comes to GMO. They've got the same bulletproof attitude when it comes to radiation. All over the world now, from Canada to the U.S. to France, reactors are just melting down. Radiation levels are going way up. What do the governments of France, Hungary, Canada, the U.S. do? They just say, we're going to raise the level of what we say safe. You see, something changed 20 years ago. They said, we're going to let troops use DU. And they're like, but our own manual says it'll toxify us and basically kill us if we do this. They're like, we're waving a magic wand. I mean, Max, I think you're right. I think they're actually insane. In fact, I know the elite is not really in control. They're like a guy in Dr. Strangelove riding the hydrogen bomb down. I mean, yeah, he's in control because he's holding on to it, waving his hat in the air, saying yeehaw, but that's not really in control. That's an illusion. These people are probably going to destroy the planet because I've studied elites. I've studied corruption. And normally elites are in control. Even if they're corrupt, they don't want things to get out of control because they know what happens. But throughout history, elites get 3-4 generations in become megalomaniacs like Nero, the list goes on, and start thinking they're bulletproof. And that's when everything implodes. Max, do you think we've reached that point?
You have people, I call them suicide bankers, and this is what you're dealing with. There's a famous study or an editorial that was in the Wall Street Journal a couple of years ago, Lessons from the Brain-Damaged Investor. And in this editorial in the Wall Street Journal, they made the point that people with slight brain damage made better stock managers, stockbrokers, because they had absolutely no empathy whatsoever. They had no empathy. They had no thought in terms of what their actions might do to other people. So they were starting to recruit people with brain damage, with autism, with other slight forms of brain anomalies. And this is, over the last 10 to 15 years, only gotten to the point where they're hiring people with more exaggerated brain damage because they know that these people might be autistic in some strange way, that they can perform quantitative analysis and develop these theories about how to manage money. But the fact is that all of those theories have resulted in massive wealth confiscation by these few people, and now we're paying all the austerity.
Yeah, the truth is they're hiring autistic, and by the way, he's telling you the truth if you haven't looked it up, because the scam becomes so complicated, no one can explain it because it can't be explained.
And then it's done by computer. 70% of all the trading activity on the exchange is done by computers. It's not even done by humans. So they program the computer to steal. And the computer steals all the money. And
they say, we didn't know, the computer did it.
That's right. They blame it on the computer, basically. That is all algorithmic trading, computer trading, high-frequency trading, which is nothing more than siphoning cash out of the market, flash crashes, which are when the computers go awry. When I was
That's why they jack it up and down. So we're going to break, Max. What's the next cold sores to come up? What's the time frame now? It seems like things are accelerating their descent.
Yeah. We going to break or what?
We'll start going, and we'll let you take us out.
No, I think that the name that's not being bandied about is the Jefferies. It's been around for a long time. It could be another broker to evaporate. That'll have repercussions, and it's another domino in this long list of dominoes, and the system's going down. The systemic collapse. And people are freaking out, and there's more volatility. And, of course, this is only going to bring in more central planning, central government, more technocrat banksters, and more world government, more European-wide government, less rights, less civil rights, less human rights.
And it's all run by the people that got us into this mess. Boy, that's a genius situation. What did Einstein say the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again, thinking you're going to get a different outcome.
Well, the aristocrats who had to give up some income after the Black Plague have always wanted to get back to a point where they didn't have to share any income at all.
Exactly. Stay there.
Whatever winter activity you enjoy, from snowmobiling, snowshoeing, skiing, or camping, there's inherent danger that you may find yourself having to stay warm. Be ready with InstaFire, a revolutionary, safe, simple, and versatile fire starter. InstaFire is a patented blend of volcanic rock, wood pellets, and paraffin wax that gets a fire blazing in just minutes. InstaFire is self-sustaining fire that starts right on top of snow or water and even burns wet wood. Sound incredible? It is. Check it out at instafire.com. A must for any outdoor winter activity. InstaFire easily lights with matches or flintlock lighters, is environmentally friendly, stores easy, is lightweight, comes in a variety of sizes, and starts at $1.25 for a single pack or only $59.95 for a 5-gallon pail with free shipping. Go to instafire.com, spelled INSTA fire.com, or call 888-482-4868. That's 888-482-4868. Safe, simple, versatile. InstaFire.
Hello, I'm Alex Jones. Myself, my family, the Infowars.com team want to relay to you and your families that we are intensifying our efforts against the globalist on every front. Infowars.com is leading the fight against the technocrats. But we can't do that without your help. By getting the films, bumper stickers, and T-shirts at Infowars.com, you will wake up people in your area and support our operation as we move to the next level. We need your help to spread the word like never before. They wish to hide themselves during this tectonic battle between the forces of freedom and darkness. You are the response to the globalist technocrats and their program of global eugenics, dehumanization, and ultimate extermination. The war is here. It's an info war. The spirit of 1776 versus the mindset of 1984.
Smokers, are you still smoking traditional cigarettes? Are you still smelling up your clothes and car interior, staining your teeth, and getting ashes everywhere? Why, when you can be smoking or vaping with e-cigarettes by LeSig? With LeSig e-cigarettes' revolutionary microelectronic technology, rechargeable battery, and unique replacement cartridges, you'll get all the satisfaction of smoking, but no smoking hazards. Choose from a wide variety of our new American-made Vapriate e-liquid flavors at LeSig.com, spelled LECIG.com, or call 870-518-4307. That's 870-518-4307. LeSig e-cigarettes for today's modern smoker. Warning, e-cigs may contain nicotine, an addictive substance known to the state of California to cause birth defects or cancer. Please be aware of the risks associated with e-cigs prior to use. You must be 18 years or older to purchase.
I was sitting in traffic, listening to the radio. George Strait was singing Seashores.
Okay, it's our final segment with Max Kaiser. I meant to get into everything that's happening out west and the land being set aside for land use by multinational corporations as collateral, just like you're seeing in Greece. I mean, the documents are public. The executive orders are public. If you want to see where I'm sitting right now as I broadcast, go to twitter.com/RealAlexJones. You can see the photo from literally where I'm sitting here on the back porch of this little motel I'm staying at. Just incredible out here. I'm going to go do some more investigative reporting there today. But things are moving very, very quickly. Max, what's what's the time frame here? Salente, from his analysis, thinks they're going to go ahead and start having more implosions after Christmas and more stealing of people's money out of accounts. How do you counter that? How do you think the movement to pull money out of the big six mega banks is going to affect things? Is that a game changer? Max Kaiser.
Salente made a good point after his MF Global experience relating to GLD, the exchange traded fund sponsored by HSBC. And clearly, if there's a need to get your precious metal from them, you're going to be getting in line behind the bank and behind a bunch of other creditors. So it's stupid to have your money in GLD, the exchange traded fund, because you put it there because you want it as an insurance. But if you need it, you've got all these other people ahead of you, and you'll never get it. You'll get a receipt for cash, which will be worthless. So if you have a GLD or SLV, which is the silver version, you need to get out of that immediately and own physical. And, I think Gerald will probably not be, engaging in anything but pure physical going forward. So let's all learn from what's going on there and not be fooled.
But just to be clear, he was using his own money to then make big profits in the system and then take gold, and they just said, you're not getting anything.
Yeah, but as we've been saying for years, you can't trust these guys, and they're just not—they're not trustworthy. The regulatory agency, the CME Group, the CFTC, they're as corrupt as the day is long.
They admit the head of the CFTC was involved in it and had to recuse himself. So of course, Corzine's not going to get in trouble.
So I'm just saying, you really taking a risk that you don't need to take. It's just, it's very tempting, of course, to do a transaction like this. But what we're learning is that if the only money that you keep in a paper or in a securities account or in a futures contract is money you're happy to lose. It's as simple as that. And because you're not going to keep any. The only thing that's going to survive this fire is gold and silver.
And let's not forget what was announced a month ago. Bank of America has now moved $79 trillion, that's trillion with a T, ladies and gentlemen, out of their regular brokerage derivative accounts into FDIC protected. And they'll call that free market when we bail out their $79 trillion.
From the bank to Merrill to speculate with and to gamble with and to give themselves huge fees as the croupier. And then when the going gets tough, they move it back to the balance sheet of the bank that's FDIC backed, which is ultimately on the hook of the taxpayer. That's completely illegal. That's completely illegal. It's completely illegal by all the statutes that have been put in place for 60, 70 years. And, China, if that happened in China, once again, their solution is to kill the bankers. They've done it now twice. There was another case in the last 2 weeks where they found bankers committing fraud and they killed them. Now, why can't we learn something from China? We import so much from China. Why can't we import this from China?
No, I hear you. We need to do it through a jury of peers, but the courts are all taken over by...
We got to move ahead. They're not looking at a jury of peers.
All right, Max, we're out of time. Thank you so much. Great job to Aaron Dykes riding shotgun with us. I'll see you back tomorrow, and we'll be back to Austin soon. Great job, crew. PrisonPlanet.tv, 7 o'clock tonight, InfoWars Nightly News.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening